Shadow Tor Paranormal are in Looe, Cornwall. It's an ancient medieval harbour town, a warren of narrow streets, with many old buildings including this merchant's house from the 17th century on Middle Market Street. It's physically connected to the very different old cottage on Higher Market Street, which is said to be 15th century in origin. Very much like Looe itself, it is a place of two parts, coupled together. Situated by the old market square, the footprint of buildings has barely changed in hundreds of years.
I'm here on Higher Market Street, where you can see the Smuggler's Cott behind me is clearly made of two buildings joined together. We've got the old one to the side here, and then the more modern extension.
With a post-war third component, the building has multiple personalities. But just how old is the cottage, based on appearances?
Hello from the new excavation here in Badin.
Thankfully, Bear has a little bit of experience dealing with mysterious old things. As a regular face on Time Team, the archaeology TV show, he's often asked with interpreting various forms of data.
And Matt, our digital supremo, has been busy reconstructing.
We've made a replica.
Oh my goodness.
Replicas, digital or physical, help bring the past back to life. So, what does he make of the Smuggler's antique curios? The doorway on Higher Market Street is likely original. Made up of 4 massive pieces of local granite, it's part of the fabric of the entire structure. The era is echoed in a small rectangular window, above to the left of the original chimney stack. The two sides of the Smugglers can be traversed via a small alleyway. Once a nip through to the market, sadly long since gone. The merchant's house was built in the 17th century, with a new facade updated in the 18th century. The large windows suggest goods were on show, to impress those attending market. But what of the inside? A rustic interior has been recreated in the dining rooms, but signs of genuine antiquity are everywhere, including fireplaces and timbers, signs of those that went before. Many of the staff at the restaurant think the place is haunted. Objects move, voices are heard, shadow figures are seen in the old dungeon restaurant, as well as a girl seen playing on the stairs, said to vanish when approached.
Recently, staff have reported the ship up here, mounted on the wall, being thrown into table 3.
Annemiek works at the restaurant.
Yeah, so me and Lynn were working, and it was not very busy. There was people sitting on table 2, and there was actually no one sitting on table 3. And we were just standing at the dumbwaiter, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the boat just went. It just went off the little thing that it was positioned on, and it just fell sort of onto table 3. And then we thought, oh my god, what happened? And we couldn't see. There was no doors open, there was no wind, there was no nothing. It's been there for like years and years. No one actually didn't pay much attention to it. And then when we grabbed it, we didn't even know how it came off. And then there was this little man that you actually can't see in the boat itself that came out, and it was like a little smuggler. And it was as old as the boat, I think, but it was not actually, it was in the boat. So we just put him back in the boat.
It's almost as if something, a playful ghost, wanted to reveal a little smuggler hidden within. A playful spirit, perhaps, or perhaps one of the old smuggler families. They preferred the term free traders, and were very real families here in Looe. The Finns, Fletchers and Hoopers. Or could it be the old sea dog who's supposed to haunt table 3? There 1 minute, then he's gone in a cloud of tobacco smoke.
So I've had a few paranormal experiences at the Smuggler's Cott restaurant. A couple of months ago I was down in the bar on my own, tidying up, and the restaurant down there was not being used. It was dark, and down the other end of the restaurant there was 5 or 6 quite forceful bangs. A kind of typical paranormal activity. But I did go upstairs to see what was happening because I honestly thought that somebody had dropped something. So I asked the girls what had been happening and was there any banging? And they said no, nothing like that's happened up here. And there's some plastic jugs above the bar on a shelf, and twice one of those is flung off quite close to me as it made me jump.
Lucy works at the restaurant.
So we were working, I think it was on a Monday night. Just at the end of the evening, we were packing up ready to go. All ready to go. Everything looked just like it does now. So I was about the last person to go. I knew I had a key for the next morning because I was in cleaning first thing. Went home. I was early in the morning, I came in. First person in, and then the basket was upside down over there, and the business cards were like in a bit of a row here, at the top of the steps.
Lynn has also worked at the restaurant, but for many, many years. She's had various paranormal experiences around Looe, but was reluctant to be recorded. We are lucky to have Lynn's eyewitness accounts.
One thing that sort of really leapt out at me was COVID. We often used to get drinks come off the tables, but we're all a bit sceptical and didn't quite believe, because the floors are so uneven. And then we'd go to the table and we'd think, oh, maybe it had a bit of water or a drink on it and that's why it slipped. So we'd put something on there, or we'd put a glass there and watch it, and nothing would happen. It happens quite a lot, and customers have seen it, so it's not just ourselves, and they've been really freaked out and shouted, oh, my drink's flown off the table.
Yeah.
What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Put him in the longboat and let him lay down.
There is a thing that happens upstairs when everybody's gone home and we're tidying up, and one of us is in one place, one of us is the other, and it's very quiet, and there's a glass lantern above the desk. Bear's put a dinosaur in it. It often moves, and you would think if it was a draft it would just sway a bit. There's usually no draft, and it swings round in a big circular movement, and that can be quite a big movement sometimes. I've noticed that happening a lot, but it only happens when it's quiet and everybody's gone home.
And also that evening we'd had a couple of little strange things happen, which was unusual as well. So I took some crockery into the kitchen, gave it to the person doing the pot wash, who was looking straight at me, and there was a little plastic pot on the top shelf behind them, and it literally just pinged straight away, straight down near behind them. We both jumped. It didn't just sort of slide and fall off. It sort of literally pinged. And somebody I was working with at the time, I thought that they were talking to me at one point in the evening. They said they weren't, and then they said that they thought they'd heard their name being called by somebody, which they hadn't. So it was very strange, but it was just that one evening which was really weird.
As down here in the bar, I've been at the bar and thought someone is standing sort of in the middle of the floor. I could see like a figure, and I've spoken, think it's one of the other staff, but when I've looked up there's nothing there, and I've come down to do drinks and thought someone's there. And also we had a psychic lady, and she asked if she could view the building, so I brought her downstairs, And she said, oh, there's a lot of atmosphere here. And we were stood in the spot where I think I see this figure. And she said, oh, by the way, she said, there's a figure standing right next to you now. She said, I can see. And she said she felt that figure. And I got all hairs on the back of my neck. And I said, oh, let's go.
We're just quietly getting on with tidying up. Sometimes as well you can feel that there is someone standing next to you. I have turned around down in the bar, sometimes turned around thinking a waitress is standing there, and I've gone to speak to them and there's nobody there. And again, sometimes that can happen with the stairs. You can think someone's come down the stairs or gone up the stairs, or one of the waitresses has come down and there's nobody there. So that's a constant thing that happens. Table 11 seems to be a bit of energy around table 11. There was one occasion a guest had a walking stick propped up, and suddenly the walking stick flung through the railings and went all the way down the stairs. Fortunately, nobody was on the stairs at the time. Could have been a bit of a nasty accident. And so whatever's happening is just to make you aware that they're there.
With so much activity at the Smuggler's Cot, Bear decides it's a valid contender for a paranormal investigation. He did actually get some unexplainable EMF hits while filming this video. The old cellar, where figures have been seen.
Down here, staff, when they've been behind the bar, have reported shadowy figures out here on the main floor. When they've been alone at night, the feeling of being watched. But also people have heard footsteps across the room when it's late and they're catching up and the restaurant is empty and there's nobody else in the building. People have been heard walking across it. And interestingly, down here is where the smuggling tunnel is, and this is also where the false wall was discovered, revealing it when the building was renovated.
The tunnel is a historical curio. The Smuggler's Cot has many, including the very rough winding stair, an original stone passage. Upstairs, a huge granite fireplace suggests importance, perhaps an ancient inn. Studying the place reveals old timbers, said to be salvaged from the Spanish Armada. Upstairs, the roof beams all suggest they may be original. Cut from one piece of timber. It's huge. We've already taken a look at the impressive stone doorway on Higher Market Street. And then there's the Smuggler's Tunnel that gives the modern restaurant its name. Said to have been uncovered during renovations in the 1920s, the tunnel was thought to have been installed by free traders, those smugglers again. What tales could these walls tell?
I'm here outside the old merchant's house. This is now the Smuggler's Cot restaurant. I'm standing here over the old drayman's entrance where the beers would have been delivered to the dungeon restaurant. The Smuggler's Tunnel is said to lead from here, the corner of Smuggler's Cot, under the corner of Smuggler's Cottage, across the market square, and out to the quayside, passing Osborne House.
Bear is going to walk the route the tunnel is rumoured to take, all the way to the quayside. Across the old market square, passing a very narrow alley. Then westward, across Lower Market Street and Higher Chapel Street. Past Osborne House, also an inn for a long period in history. Bear passes the Bay, once a very real rookery for smugglers, thieves and bandits. It's still a bit sketchy to this day, in the dark. Past the 18th century warehouse buildings and finally, out onto the quayside and Looe Harbour.
Here we are on Buller Quay, a busy trading spot in antiquity with goods coming and going from around the world, including export of Cornish goods such as china clay and granite.
It's utterly impractical for a tunnel to reach so far, and why broadcast your secret operation too, with a tunnel seen by all in the harbour? Instead, tunnels were likely to join other buildings nearby, a secret network. Many buildings still stand from that era, and long before. The 16th century Guildhall, later the town court and prison. The cells are still there to this day. Pop in and see. Tudor Church House has some fine granite work, not a dissimilar tone to the masonry at the Smugglers. Original merchant houses include the Fisherman's Arms, Elizabethan Lantau, and Old Cottage Restaurant by the traffic lights. Many are clustered around the market. now sadly a collection of parking spaces. It's fun to think back to when the back streets must have been a hive of activity. The Smuggler's Cott is just one great example of what's still here, if you go looking. Update. It's midwinter in Looe, Cornwall. This is undoubtedly the quietest period of the year. Locals find these months a good time to unwind, take stock and prepare. It's a good time for repairs and restoration too, before another busy season. At the Smuggler's Cott, Matt Bear has come along to see if anything interesting has been discovered. Down in the old cellar, work is underway to repair sections of the wooden floor. Time and footfall take their toll in a busy restaurant, especially one as old as the Smuggler's.
I'm back here at the Smuggler's Cott. We've come in because there are some renovations going on. It's January 2025 and they've revealed some old foundations.
Indeed, closer inspection revealed several layers of previous flooring, down to a depth of 2 feet in places. What manner of treasures or trinkets may lie beneath? Is it an ancient parchment? Sadly not. It's a vinyl floor tile from the 1950s. Another era in the Smuggler's long history as a commercial premises. Beneath the 1950s level, there was some evidence of older beams, poured over, as well as patches of sand, presumably the original floor surface, of silt. Matt also spots a suspicious new hole in the plasterboard wall. This walled-up cavity is one side of the large, very old fireplace that provided heat to the deep cellar. Outside, there's more evidence of the fireplace. The large chimney stack is one of the largest in town, if not the largest remaining stack. It is interesting to contemplate who may have warmed themselves by the fire over 500 years ago in the hidden areas of the old smuggling haunt.